For this particular video, I'm going to be talking about chauvinism amongst Americans and its effect on the well-being of Middle Easterners. This is obviously with the current prescient Iran conflict going on. We'll be sharing my feelings on that as well. As the US commits to a larger and more involved position in the Israeli attack on Iran, public opinion on the matter continues to sour. Republicans remain the only group in the country that supports US involvement in any meaningful capacity, at 79% approval, which in itself is down from the 88% approval Trump had on the issue in 2020, when we last had an issue with Iran. And as investigations into the strikes on a school for girls in Minab continue, and US culpability looks more and more likely, I took it upon myself to try and understand how Americans, largely on the right, can justify these mass casualties. My research led me to chauvinistic Christian nationalism and its endless pursuit of the cadaver that is American exceptionalism. This requires a bit of history. The concept of American exceptionalism dates back to the 1600s, when John Winthrop, Massachusetts' first-ever governor, gave his City Upon a Hill speech to the Puritans. He referred to New England as a city on a hill, with all eyes on its progress, and that failure of the colony would reflect poorly on God. Winthrop urges the Puritans to remain steadfast, warning that falling short in efforts to preserve the colony would turn prayers into curses and invite the world at large to laugh in the face of God's people. In this way, America was an exceptional nation, destined to bring glory to God. Across centuries, this ideology has persisted, co-opted by the Founding Fathers, Alexis de Tocqueville, Ronald Reagan, and now by the aforementioned Christian nationalists. Each progenitor of these beliefs maintained a chauvinistic attitude that America was truly the greatest nation on earth, guided by God and the American spirit to seemingly nebulous ends. It was at this point that I felt I had the basis of understanding to make my next and most important point. Among civilian causes, Christian nationalism and the associated Christian Zionism are most to blame for playing the largest and most active role in manufacturing consent for US hegemony in the Middle East. Long-held beliefs concerning the region, such as harbored hatred of the West, abuse of women and children, and suppression of dissent, are hypocritical stone throws used to mask the actual justifications for our foreign policy. Jingoism. We Americans have constantly allowed ourselves to be fed delusions about our country's history, and that ignorance costs lives. At no point has involvement in the Middle East actually been for the well-being of those people there, as is evidenced by the failures in Afghanistan. If the goal in Afghanistan was actually liberation and nation building as they said it was, it wouldn't have resulted in the Taliban immediately receiving power after our exit in 2021. For lack of a better term, there must be a notion in Republican circles that deceased Middle Easterners eventually just respawn. No other justification explains the complete disinterest in the constantly increasing avoidable death toll of the region, as well as the willingness to support wars that in no way advance American society.